The final thing I want to discuss under organizational strategies is setting up the format for your essay. Once you're ready to begin to write, you need to format the page. Don't start writing until you've done this. The first thing I do is I change my spacing. Now you know that MLA needs a true double space. So I go to the paragraph and I select this function. I want to change underneath where it says spacing, the before and after to read 0. They should both be 0. And then where it says line spacing, I change that to double. This will give me a true double space in my essay. Then I want to go and I want to check my margin. Now Microsoft Office is set up to default to a 1-inch margin, so you're okay. However, if you're using a computer that is not your own, make sure that someone hasn't changed the default settings. So we want the normal, 1 inch, we're all good there. Now I have a particular font that I require of my students, and so you'll want to change that font, and here's where you do it. In my case, I like Times New Roman. Don't ask me why, I just like it better. Times New Roman, and I always change it to 12-point font. Okay, that's what I require from my students, so that's where you would change it. So far so good. We have a truly double-spaced document, and we have the right font, and we have the right margin. So now I go to the next choice that I have to make, which is to set up my page numbers. You hit Insert, and you want to go to where it says Page Number. And when you select that, it's going to give you some options. Just go here, top of the page. Don't pick anything fancy. We want it here at the right. So just select this. And now you see it opens up this header box. And you see my cursor is flashing in front of the number 1. All I do is type my name and hit space. Don't change the number. If you erase the number and put a number there, it's like say I put number 1, all of my pages are going to be Dennis 1. This is grayed out, so it's automatically going to change it to Dennis 2 and Dennis 20 and Dennis 40 and whatever it is they have to do in my essay. So once you've got your name in here, you close the header and footer. Okay, so now we need to do an MLA heading. Student name first. Let's come up with a really great student name. How about let's just use this. Okay, student name. Instructor name. If your instructor has a PhD, you need to make sure and make that doctor, okay? Some instructors are very particular, so I would want you to make sure that you respect the instructor's wishes. Then you're going to want to put the course name. Don't abbreviate. Spell it out. Then you want to do the date. You start with the date, the day, the number, which let's just say 15th, okay? And then you want to put the month, spell it out, again, no abbreviations, and the year. All right, notice there's no punctuation, and you hit enter again. So now it's looking pretty good. So let's do a title, and let's center it, okay? You'll want to put a title. You always want to put a title, and make sure that you do the capitalization correctly. Notice that I capitalized the first and last words of my title, and hit enter. You've centered that title, and you're ready. But when you hit enter, you come back to the center of the page, so make sure that you move this back to the left margin. When you begin your first paragraph, you want to tab in. Okay, that gives you a good indentation. And I'm just going to type. I want to show you a little something that you may not know. Okay, notice that I didn't have to hit enter, I didn't have to move my sentence, I didn't have to hyphenate, I didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff. All I had to do was type. Microsoft Word has an automatic word wrap, and it takes you right to the next sentence without you ever having to do anything. Now, once you get this format set up, make sure that you save it. Save it on your computer. I would save it in a couple of places so that way you don't lose anything that you've typed in. I will tell you that when I was in school and I had an essay to do, I always set my format up, and it was set up the day after I had the assignment. And I very rarely knew what my title was going to be, so I would usually type something like this so that I wouldn't forget to put a title. I actually wrote a very large essay for an instructor and forgot to change this. So if you use this little format to make sure that you don't forget to put a title, go back and make sure that you change the title as part of your revision. So that's how you set up a format, and now you are ready to learn how to write.